In order to solve a system of equations, we're going to use our calculator, and we're going to put each equation into the y equals key of our calculator, into the y1 and y2, do our second trace 5, and press enter 3 times. But in order to do that, our equations both have to be in y equals. Neither one of these are. So our very first step is going to be to solve each equation for y. So I'm going to just start with the very first one up there. I'm going to rewrite it over here. 4x minus y equals 12. And since I am solving it for y, I'm going to go ahead and draw my line down the equal sign and circle my y, including the sign, including that negative sign. Now my goal is to get that y by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and move my 4x. So inverse of plus 4x is minus 4x on both sides. So now I have negative y equals 12 minus 4x. And I'm not quite done because my y is being multiplied by a negative 1. So I'm going to divide all 3 terms by a negative 1. And my first equation, I've got y equals negative 12 plus 4x. So I've got my first one ready to go in the calculator. Now I'm going to solve my second one. And it's already right over here, so I'm just going to draw a squiggly line. And I'm going to solve the second equation. So my second equation, I've got 2y equals 8x minus 16. I'll draw my line down the equal sign, and I'm going to circle my y term. And when I look, I don't have any other terms on the left side, so all I have to do is get it down to just a 1y. So my y is being multiplied by 2, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide all 3 terms by 2. And what I'm left with is y equals 4x minus 8. So now I have my 2 equations. I'm going to go into my calculator and I'm going to put in both equations. I'm going to put negative 12 plus 4x into y1, and I'm going to put 4x minus 8 into y2. Now when I do that and I press second trace 5 and I let it draw, I can already kind of look at it and know that I've got probably a problem coming up because it looks to me like the lines are parallel. And when I press enter, 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 it gives me an error, no sign change. That error, no sign change is telling me either my lines are parallel or I couldn't see the intersection in the screen of my calculator. Well, I already knew from looking at it they were parallel, so my answer to this is no solution because the lines are parallel.